Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, the Three Topics Gamer, here to give you a quick little discussion video talking about something that is very personal to me, I would say. And I also would like to point out that this might actually be one of the last videos that I actually record in this current location, because my big move to my new location actually takes place within the next 48 to 72 hours, so I'm really pumped up for that. So, keep your eyes open for that. But today, I just want to talk about Dead Space, and there has been a lot of talk and rumors about one of my favorite survival horror franchises of all time, and whether or not a possible return may be inevitable, or if it's going to happen, or even should Dead Space return. And being a big fan of the franchise, I can openly say that yes, I think that Dead Space should make a return. I thought it was a fantastic franchise, and it pretty much had just about everything you could ask from a franchise that should have a long lifespan. I mean, this franchise has games, it's got movies, it's got novels, it's got comic books, it has its own extended lore that is very, very interesting for anyone who's interested. I'm not really sure why, EA thought that they wanted to end it. I mean, I've heard stories that, Dead Space 3 had kind of seriously underperformed, as that it had, cost a lot of money. And even though I openly admit that Dead Space 3 was without question, I'd say the weakest out of the primary trilogy of Dead Space games, I would still consider that game to be a certainly well above average good game, especially once you think about the game mechanics that that game was actually able to introduce with its co-op aspect, which, as far as I was concerned, had never been done before or after in terms of the game being able to adapt story-wise to whether one person or two people were playing. That's something I thought was completely amazing. But again, there have been all of these rumors about possibly EA revitalizing the Dead Space franchise, and as I look at this, so there have been several articles that have been released of last 2 days. But as I look at this one in particular from GameSpot, just to read over real quick. It goes, EA is reportedly reviving Dead Space with Motive Studio developing a game. As reported by this person, Motive is supposed to be developing a reimagining of the original Dead Space games, and EA plans to reveal this game during EA Play Live on July 22nd. Now, that word reimagining has me very, very much concerned, because as far as I was concerned, if they're going to bring the franchise back, I want one of two things. Either just give me a of their remastering, or at least release the game on modern consoles in some sort of fashion, because I would love to replay these games. I mean, outside of Resident Evil, Dead Space is, as I said earlier, my favorite survival horror franchise of all time. In fact, Dead Space 2 and Resident Evil 4 are two games that are part of my legendary 10 out of 10 lineup. And out of the two of them, as much as I think that both these games are masterpieces, I would easily, without question, pick Dead Space 2 over Resident Evil 4 any day. And both of these games are 10 out of 10 masterpieces, but I kind of tend to gravitate a little bit more towards this because it kind of has that somewhat Event Horizon feeling, and I just think that's a little bit more creepier than, controlled or slightly intelligent zombies that are controlled by the Las Plagas, but that's just me. But should this franchise come back? And I think it should. I mean, when you look at all the other survival horror franchises, have we had outside of Resident Evil? I mean, Resident Evil has made a serious comeback, and EA has also been kind of on a roll in terms of taking old franchises and bringing them back. I mean, just look what they did with Mass Effect. I'm going back to replay Mass Effect, and I'm having an amazing fun time. Just as much fun as I had playing Mass Effect the first time. So I think redoing that for another established franchise like Dead Space would be an amazing idea. And heck, maybe that might even open the door to give us a Dead Space 4. I mean, this game had been rumored for many, many years before the Visceral Studios was shut down. I think it was Visceral Games, was shut down in 2017, which, I was really hurt by, because I had always wanted a Dead Space 4 because of the way that Dead Space 3 ended. It had definitely left up on a cliffhanger. And I think that some people might have complained that Dead Space 3 kind of went more in an action direction, similar to what Resident Evil 5 did, but there was always a way that you could go back and make it much more horror-based. I mean, just follow what they did in Resident Evil 2 Remake in terms of just having two set primary characters and then having them go on different paths that on occasion actually have some connections. Therefore, you could still keep the horror aspect by having two different campaigns and still have the story moving forward and increase the lore. So that's my thought. And as I just kind of go a little more throughout this article, I mean, again, a lot of this is just rumors. We don't know if Dead Space is going to be the established IP that they want to bring back. But again, the word reimagining of the original Dead Space games just has me a little bit concerned, because what if they, try to make them into some sort of mobile game? I mean, if you're gonna put this much, anticipation, which again, no one has officially said anything. All this has been rumors. But if Dead Space has been getting this much traction, I think EA would be stupid not to try to revitalize the franchise in some way, either by, again, just remastering the games so we can play them on modern consoles, or actually having something in which we could somehow lead into a fourth installment and then continue on from there. Because again, I want to see this franchise come back and make a comeback. I want to see it return. I want to see it continue. It is without question, again, my favorite survival horror franchise of all time. So any chance for this franchise to come back would be something I think a lot of us fans would welcome with open arms. And heck, I would absolutely love to stream these. In fact, the last time I actually played a Dead Space game was like 2 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I will definitely be keeping my eye out for on and watching the EA Play Live on July 22nd, and hopefully Dead Space comes back. Hopefully EA sees the traction, sees the positivity, and says even if they might not have a plan for it now, I think the amount of attention that Dead Space as a franchise is getting now, I think might want to give them some ideas, and maybe it might be something that they come up at the last minute, or maybe it's something that they've had planned for some time. We don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But again, I personally think that Dead Space should come back, and those are just my initial thoughts. So now that you guys have heard my thoughts on whether or not Dead Space should return on, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If Dead Space was to return, how would you like it to be returned? As a remastering? Should we get a Dead Space 4? Or if they do decide to reimagine it, what do you think that reimagining version might end up being? Share your thoughts with me and never listen in the comments down below. And if you did happen to like this video by the end, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and to keep track of me in all my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.